Welcome to another Online Personals Watch CEO interview. I'm joined today by Dave Tavres, who is the CEO and founder of MouseMingle, which is a most unusual niche dating site. It's focused on Disney fans. So, Dave, what's your founding story?
Well, about 5 years ago now, I was with some friends at Disneyland who were visiting from Seattle, and both of them are geeks like I am. One was at Amazon, the other was at Microsoft. And when we were getting ready to take the kids back to the hotel for the evening, they said, "Why don't you try some of these online dating sites?" And I said, "I've tried all of them, but none of them have a checkbox that says I have an annual pass to Disneyland." So I joked and said maybe I should create that site, and they said, "Yeah, you should." And that was the inspirational moment right there. They were both geeks, so when we got the kids back to the room and got them put down, I grabbed both of them and said, "Okay, right now you're going to help me come up with a domain name." And my friend Jen, in like 2 minutes, came up with the name mousemingle.com. And this was just the inception moment. This was not months of planning or thinking about it. It just kind of happened right there. So that was the beginning of the idea.
Great. And I guess you're more focused on California and Florida?
Um, when I first started, I didn't know what would happen. I thought it would just be one of those little side projects and kind of see how it goes. But as it turns out, there are tens of thousands of profiles from all over the country and a lot of people from around the world, even though I haven't focused on the country expansion yet.
So it seems like, is this another niche that isn't, because it seems like everybody's really, who's not a Disney fan? Who doesn't like Disney? But I guess this is for people who really focus on, this is a big part of their lives. What's the profile of a particular, of a user typically?
Well, I will go back and say, as a hardcore Disney nut myself, I worked at Disneyland for several years just for fun. Started out I worked at Autopia as an attractions operator, and I very quickly went over to become a tour guide. So I gave the history tours of Disneyland for a couple of years, and then I quit and became a locomotive engineer. So I am a pretty hardcore Disney nut. And most of the other people that I know who love Disney at that level, they have annual passes. They go frequently, once, twice a month, maybe more if they live nearby. The people, my friends from Seattle and other parts of the country, travel and spend 2, 3, 4 days at Disney just because they love it that much. So the profile that I'm looking for are the people that live what I call the Disney lifestyle. Those are the people that have Disney artwork hanging on the wall, and their keychain is Disney, and they have a favorite Disney movie that they quote all the time, and everybody in their office says, "Oh, they're the Disney person." So those are the people that I think those are the big profiles on the site right now. It's the people that really love and live Disney. When Walt Disney was first starting to build Disneyland, there were amusement parks, but there were no such thing as theme parks at that time. He invented theme parks. They were all just carousels and things like that. Well, Walt specifically wanted you to step into those movies and those experiences. So when he built Disneyland, nobody knew if it would work. He didn't know if it would work. So a lot of people called it Walt's Folly. And it took just over 1 year from the date that they broke ground till the day they opened. It very well could have flopped and not gone well, but as the world knows, it didn't. It took off.
You've done quite well with the press, I believe.
I got really lucky. So about 3 months before I launched, I posted on a couple of social media pages on Facebook to the people that I knew, and I talked to a lot of my friends. I said, "Hey, if you know somebody who's interested, sign up on this mailing list." And after about 3 months, it was about 1,000 people that signed up on that list and said, "Yes, let me know when the site launches." The end of November, I sent out an email to all those people and said, "Hey, put in some basic profile information because we're going to launch on December 1st." Well, that week before, I got a random phone call from a local LA-based magazine, or just a local LA magazine, and he asked me a couple of questions. We spent 5, 8 minutes on the phone asking some similar questions like this. And at the time, again, I didn't know what was going to happen. But on December 1st, he put the article out the same day that I launched the site. On December 2nd, Conan O'Brien made a joke in his monologue. and I was still at the office because the site had just gone crazy. So at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, I'm still sitting at my office at work with a couple of guys that I work with trying to help me make sure the site stayed up. And then one of the guys starts screaming, "Hey, Conan just mentioned you." And I thought he was joking. And sure enough, he brought over his tablet and showed the video clip, and I couldn't believe it. The site went even crazier. That was on December 2nd. On December 3rd, The Tonight Show made a joke.
Oh my goodness.
On December 4th, it was Whoopi Goldberg talking about it on The View. And then on December 5th, which was Saturday, Saturday Night Live on their Weekend Update had a joke about it.
Wow.
So it went viral overnight, literally, and just blew my mind. Everybody in my office was just as excited as I was, because who knew that something like that would happen?
Great. Congratulations.
Thanks.
What's next for MouseMingle? What's your plans for 2017?
Well, I finally have a great person who is helping with technology, and we now can see what the site is becoming. We can see what people want more. And I'm hoping to reskin the site, do some more technical upgrades, make emails work better. And I just want to reach out to more people to find out what they want and make sure the site works well. By the end of 2017, I would love to expand to a French version of the site and focus on Disneyland Paris. And I already have a couple friends from where I used to work that speak Japanese that said that they would translate the site into Japanese so I could focus on Tokyo Disneyland. And I think that there's a ton of fans in those places, just like there are here in the United States.